Gee, that's folks, how you doing? I'm going to tell you a ghost story. A true ghost story. Now, this ghost story I'm very, very familiar with. It happened locally. The protagonist of this story is yours truly. It's me. Now, it's nothing like number 91. It's nothing major. But all the same, it involves what I believed at the time and still possibly could have been a ghost. Now, when we were kids, back when I was younger, not long ago, when I was a kid, it wasn't a great deal to do. Well, to say there wasn't a great deal to do, there was things to do. I was just never into soccer, never into the others. All your Gaelic teams, there was football teams, there was your youth clubs and all. But there were things that never really entertained me. Stuff I wasn't into. I loved my kickboxing. That's the only sport I done. I loved it my whole life. That was my whole thing. That was all I did. So in between doing that and everything else, you were just walking the streets. We used to walk around the graveyard, and up the Black Mountain, and one of our favourite places to go in every now and then would have been the old bombed out Lake Glen factory, Lake Glen Hotel. Now, I think it got blew up in 1983. I think it was around about that. But we must have been about 12 at the time. And we used to climb over the wall and into the old hotel, the old Lake Glen Hotel. I used to have to get, somebody have to give you a scouts you up and over the wall. But it was dangerous. It was a dangerous place. It was just literally what you would see in one of those movies, one of those. It's like what you would have seen in one of those advertisements in the news for a rock or something. That's at the inside. If it was like it was bombed, it's everything you'd imagine in a bomb building. Floors just about holding on by the skin of our teeth, and these are the things we were climbing up. Like, you didn't realise the domino effect you could have caused if you had to pull something off, but you didn't think like that when you were younger. So there's a few things you needed to watch for when you climbed into the old Lake Glen. Number one, other fellas, other kids getting in. Because whenever if you maybe got confronted with them, there could have been fights and stuff. And yeah, it's alright, we lads will fight and they'll do stuff like that. But in an environment like that, it could be quite dangerous. Because as I say, it's even to get floor to floor, it wasn't steps. You had to lean over and climb up the wall onto the next floor. So you had a big gap. You fell down and you were falling from the top of the building to the very bottom. Like if your parents only knew. So that's where we would have climbed into. And I remember this one day, we climbed over the wall, landed in the rubble. There was three of us, landed in the rubble. We're walking through the stones, and we heard voices, and we were going, was that other? And then we heard the voices again. We recognised the voices. They weren't ghosts at this point, and the other threat that you always had is if you ran into the soldiers used to put observation posts in OPs. And if you run into that as well, you could have got a bad beating. Some people did. So we knew it wasn't that. We knew it wasn't that, and we knew it wasn't ghosts or other kids. We knew they were. It was my friend's older brother and all his mates. Now, all good guys, and they were good fellas even back then. They were never up to no real bad stuff. But they're about 5 years older than us. So every time they used to bump into us, we always roughhousing. We always got roughed up. Nothing majorly bad, but just the way it would be. Like my mate's older brother giving him a wee bit of a head, and the other ones all just messing about thinking it was funny. People got hung out windows and everything. It was crazy. So whenever we seen them, they spotted us. Stupidly, we went over to them, and that was it. That was the catalyst for it. Just seeing our faces, and they chased after us. So me and one of them, we all scattered different directions, but I somehow ended up with one of the other ones. He had followed me, and we went down steps and steps. These steps were at the side of the building, and you had to drop off from floor to floor. Like it would have been down steps, and then there would have been a landing and a gap. Nothing. Just a drop. So we'd done that down, and then run down the last set of steps, and there was like it must have been a cupboard or something at the time, but there was no door on it. And once you looked out, the door was on the wall. The door would have been like here, and then the steps would have just been attached to the stairs, just going up. So we're hiding in this here like cavity in the wall, just me and the other mate, and I was tiny like. So we're huddled away in the corner, and we could hear their voices all laughing. Well, they were at that age where their voices were starting to break and stuff, and you could hear the like deep laughs and all. We were terrified, so we sat there for a bit, and then all of a sudden went dead quiet. We were confident that they didn't know where we were, but all of a sudden it went eerily quiet, really quiet, and us two sat there going, "Is that them on the way? Is that them leaving? Or they left the going or what?" So we were considering leaving, and then all of a sudden we seen a shadow on the wall moving because we were looking out. Like that, we looked out the door, and like a shadow coming out round the top of the landing, and right away we thought it was them. But it didn't make no noise, no like the crunching of the old gravel with the people walking on it. It didn't make any noise like that. So we looked out again, and it was it was the shadow, the silhouette of a man, and it was just at the top of the steps, and it came right down the steps, right to that door, and looked right in on me and the other fella who were a kid, who were just hanging back like this. If it had been the Emmons, they'd have been looking at us because the silhouette was right there, just staring in, and then back up the steps. This continued to go on for about 15 minutes in intervals. This thing was going up and down the steps, up and down the steps, and we were sitting terrified. The last time it went down, we went, right, we knew it was coming down, going up, nothing for a bit, and then down, coming up. So once we got that gap, he says, right, we need to go here. So we got out, bolted up them stairs, climbed up onto the next floor, run across it. This is where all the other ones would have been. Nobody there. Everybody had left. We were the only people in the building. Unless there was maybe soldiers sitting up somewhere, hiding away, trying not to be heard or seen. We were it. That was it. That was all that was in the building. Scurried out, bounced over the wall, and away we went. But that was terrifying. You think how you entertained yourself as a kid back then. Late 80s, it was different. Like, nowadays, kids are just scrolling the phone. That's the height of it. Like you were taking it out of your hands every day, and you didn't even really think about it. Like if you had to run into a crowd of glue sniffers or something like that, or someone's, you end up getting killed. Or you run into a foot patrol who was hiding in there for up to God knows what. There are loads of people getting beatings and stuff like that in it. I know there was no casualties in that building when the bomb went off, like, but it sets for the perfect environment for like residual energies to be. Like, it's just because nobody died in the actual explosion itself doesn't mean that there couldn't have been some kind of a presence there, because that was something. It wasn't the light coming in the windows. It wasn't anything like that, because where we would have been, the light was the window was facing out the back towards like old bushes, all overgrown. You couldn't even climb out it because the bushes were flat against that window, so it was really dull. But this thing come down and up, and it was standing right in front of us, and right back up again, and continued to go up, down, and there wasn't a noise on the gravel, nothing to indicate the presence of a human being, the density, the weight standing on the steps, nothing. I always often think about that, often wonder. It's the bingo hall now. It was a bowl that they made a bowling alley in it, and then they made a bingo hall in it. Still a bingo hall. That was that was absolutely not about either there down in the old crystal factory, which is now Home Bargains. That was just all overgrown, all over. We couldn't even see it. Had to go through the bushes to even get into it. Used to walk about there, and it was like you were like in a war zone. I suppose Belfast back then pretty much was, but wow. I would hate to think my kids doing stuff like that. Like, that's just so dangerous whenever you think back on it. Your mother would have murdered you if she found out you were doing it. Your dad, yeah, not even worth thinking about. But boy, it's some fun. But any kids watching this, stay away from anything like that, because very dangerous. God knows what trouble you could get yourself into, and we're very stupid for doing it. But well, that's my ghost story. One of many ghost stories I have. I just haven't really spoke much of, but that one was weird. That's one. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching anyway, folks. I just thought I'd tell that what we one being where it was. I'm sure a lot of people know the building. I'm going to try and get a picture of the building popped up here. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to have to get somebody to do it for me. Get the wee girl, get the daughter to do it. But maybe when I post this, I'll pop it up a wee image of it and give you a wee memory of it. Okay, folks. Thanks very much for watching. And send in your videos, as much of them as you can. Got a couple in there, so I'll do that I have to tell, so I'll get them out there. Okay, folks. Go ahead and mail it. It's